Good afternoon, church family. It is Pastor Josiah once again without Silas. It is nap time, and since I'm now learning how to homeschool my children, I thought I would take this opportunity to give you your midweek update and also some food for thought, which would be, I guess, our replacement for dinner and discussion, which we normally have on Wednesday nights, but will not because of the coronavirus. So a couple updates if you missed it. The sermon is posted on Facebook on our Shelton Church of the Nazarene Facebook page. It's on a YouTube channel named Shelton Naz, and it's also on our website at sheltonnaz.org. Some other updates would include district-wide church closures. This is now something the district is essentially mandating, for lack of a better term, for us to slow this progression of transmission to lower the curve, I think is the phrase, flatten the curve. That's the phrase that you'll probably see on social media or the news. It's out of our desire to not spread yucky and to instead practice self-sacrificing love that we will continue to not meet for the foreseeable future for the next several weeks, I'm sure. But this leads me to my food for thought, topic of discussion, dinner and discussion replacement, whatever we're going to call this. This isn't necessarily a sermon. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. But this is something that I want to actively engage with you, all of Shelton Naz family members, to participate within. We talked on Sunday about Paul and his letter to the church in Corinth, and that he was challenging them to not practice things that would cause others to stumble, to not do something that would detrimentally affect someone less mature, less knowledgeable, whatever adjective you may want to use to basically say, don't do things that cause others to stumble. He then went on to say that he's practicing this himself, and that he is practicing the art of being what other people need him to be. That his identity is still rooted in Christ, that who he is still firmly rooted in who Jesus has called him to be. But at the same time, he has learned that sometimes following Jesus, being the best mentor, being the best disciple, or whatever we want to call him, is done in a way that is empathetic to the person he is reaching out to. So Paul says, to the Jews I become a Jew, to the Greeks I become a Greek, and he continues down this list, and he says, I become all things to all people so that I may save some. So that's the thing I want to challenge us today with. It's an interesting time, and it's really easy to let fear dictate our emotions, our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. Instead, though, I will challenge you to do two things. One, if you have not read those passages, it's 1 Corinthians 8 and 9, I believe. Shoot, now I'm spacing. I've been alone with 4 kids all day, so you're going to have to give me some grace on that one. You can refer back to the sermon on Sunday. So that's number one. Read those passages and fact check me, see if that's the right chapters that I put in that sermon companion that I put on Facebook. Step number 2, I would like you to practice this selfless love, this self-sacrificing love that Paul calls us to, and I want you to do it in one of 2 ways. Number 1, reach out to someone in your own church family, someone that maybe you're worried about, find a phone number, figure out a way to contact them. If they're comfortable with it, stop by and visit them, bring a whole bunch of Purell, maybe a face mask, I don't know, but just let somebody know that you're thinking about them, that you're praying about them, and remind them that they are not alone in this time of fear and anxiety. Step number 2, we'll take it up a level. Do this with somebody that is not necessarily a Shelton Nazarene church member, attender. Do this to a next door neighbor. Do this to that sweet old lady next door who maybe is nervous to go get her own groceries. Maybe volunteer to do it for her. Maybe that sweet old man down the road needs help figuring out how to get to the doctor's office because his normal ride is uncomfortable. I don't know what the scenario may be, but on your street, in your neighborhood, I about guarantee you there are people that could use some self-sacrificing love, that are afraid, that are isolated, that are scared because of this quarantine. So consider what it might look like for you to put into practice what Paul has challenged the church in Corinth to do, to be what other people need you to be, because that is what he sees Christ calling him to do, so that he may draw even more people into closer relationship with this Jesus guy that we talk so much about. In the meantime, stay tuned for more updates. We will have another sermon posted on Sunday morning, just like we did this past Sunday. And there will be even more potential opportunities like this to continue to not just go to a church facility, but to be the church, even now, that Jesus is calling us to be. Take care and God bless.